Welcome to another Steelers Live. I'm Lyndsay Petruny. Yesterday was the players' day off, but they were back at it again today. Tunch and Wolf are standing by for a practice report, guys.
Thanks, Lyndsay. You know, Wolf, I was thinking about this as we were watching practice, although Vance McDonald didn't work today. I don't think that I've seen a trio of tight ends this good on the Steelers in a long, long time.
You could be very well correct. I mean, we've seen so much of Heath Miller as well.
Right, yeah.
You don't need a trio.
Right.
Heath was the one-man gang, whether he was an inline H-back or whatever have you. He was a tight end that get it all. He was a pass catcher and so forth. So, you know, looking at this group that we have, Tunch, they're making strides. And right now, the guy that's making more strides, in my mind, than anybody else on a day-in, day-out basis is Jesse James.
Yes.
So we saw from the very first time on Backs on Backers, Chaluch, he was strong.
Right.
I mean, he took a bull rush right down the middle of the gourd and stood his ground, and then came back and did it again, and then rode him around. So to watch him come out on Bud Dupree and get some awesome reps, that was great.
You know, Jesse has not been the best run blocker that we've seen. And when I saw that one-on-one in Backs on Backers, I thought, wow, is this a new Jesse? Then watching them do one-on-one versus the outside linebackers, I don't think he lost a rep.
It didn't look
he
like
was
it.
coming off the ball, flat back, rolling up, and man, he had great hand placement, and he finished the block. I was going, is this the Jesse James that we know? You know, and Jesse probably, it's taken a little while for him to, for his run blocking to catch up to his pass receiving because he was a receiver in college. But Jesse is the complete tight end now, and it's fun to see that development because you know, he really is.
No question about it. Look, just jumping in, Jesse, one of the things he showed great was that inside rip to rack, that hand placement on the inside.
You always say rip to rack. Explain it.
Rip to rack is as your hands come back as you're firing forward, and then you rip your fists in and pop a guy in the chest and then grab the chest plate.
Yeah.
Now, one of the great things is we're going to start locking out at each other. So you get that chest plate, and then you want to turn the wheel, steer the car. You want to bend the guy over, a push-pull technique. We call it ragdoll. The purpose of being is that you can break down the muscles of the core and be able to bend the guy over. And that's one of the things that Jesse, he gained the line. He gained ground every time he came off the ball, and that's something that we have not seen in years past.
Yeah, and Xavier has gotten better at it too. Vance McDonald showed us that he could block last year, but all three of those guys, man, they could stretch the field. You could go to three tight ends and have a three tight end personnel and have these guys, and all of them can stretch the field. And one of the things that we're seeing is, and thanks to Randy Fiedner, he's putting his stamp on this offense, but early we're seeing deeper crossing routes, we're seeing more seam routes, and we're going to see them, you know, Xavier Grimble is a terrific receiver. So is Vance McDonald. So is Jesse James. We could see a vertical game with three tight ends.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah,
that's
that
a
is.
Randy Fiedner addition to his offense. I think it sounds great, but then when I saw the other day Vance McDonald came out past the numbers. I mean, he's up there and he's
split.
Yeah, I mean, he's split. He's just going, and I'm like, wow, because you see that and you don't expect to see it, but you see that speed coming from him, and you really got to say this is nice.
Yeah, one of the things that we saw today too is the early in practice defense dominated. 7 shots. You know, I don't know how many times the offense scored, but they are definitely reason.
The defense is leading.
Then we went to the run period during team where they're tackling, and the Steelers offense could not get on track. And, you know, sometimes you get worried about that, but I think it's a good sign because as much as the Steelers struggled last year, stopping the run and tackling, we saw a great tackling period. The DBs came up and tackled. We had Mike Hilton come up and cut down Stephen Ridley. We saw also Sean Davis come up in run support from his deep safety, free safety spot and make a tackle. The DBs look like they're tackling with more oomph, and they're not missing. And one of the things that we're seeing in this camp is live tackling.
One of the things that we saw today for that live tackling period was an offensive line that didn't get the pop, didn't get the drive, didn't come off the ball with that zip-doo-dah to gain ground on the opposite side. We saw a defense that was staying on its feet and getting a good lockout technique. You know, a good lockout is about it's probably 75%, 80% of run defense, and they were getting a good lockout. And I was impressed. And you see the big bangs coming up, and you feel the crunch. One of the things I felt today was, with the little coolness, we had like wind chill because I thought it was going to be a hot day. You could hear and feel the crunch early on. It was crisper. Crunchier crunch. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, crispy crunch.
I think you got a good crunch.
Is that my cereal?
No. Anyways, Cam Hayward did a great job today. The linebackers were outstanding. LJ Fort he is improving. It's great to see the improvement of these guys, especially at the inside linebacker. All of them, John Bostic, Vince Williams, Tyler Medikevich, and LJ Fort, Christian Kelsey even has shown.
Don't forget Matt Galambos.
Yeah.
The Galambos is out there doing it.
Yeah, these guys today, if you want to put a stamp on this practice, it's going to have to be defense.
The other thing I think we've learned today watching is our man Farrington Huguenin.
Yeah.
All right. Farrington's one of these guys that's got to get slapped upside the head, but when he gets mad, bodies start flying.
Yeah.
But if he's not ready to go, it's like it takes him a little while to get into it.
Yeah.
But once he gets going, he's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And again, Keon Adams is another guy. Now on the run drill with tight ends,
he got hooked a couple times.
He got hooked a number of times.
Yeah.
But when I just watching one of the pass rushes again, he's got that natural knack of playing the outside third of a guy, getting his hip against the offensive lineman's hip, and being able to get under and up and use that great leverage, a la very much like a James Harris.
Right. Oh, one of the things that you look at Keon Adams is he is a natural pass rusher, and we're looking for that edge guy.
Right.
Is it going to be Anthony Chicklow? Is it going to be Bud Dupree, T.J. Watt, Keon Adams, Farrington Huguenin? Who is it going to be? But when you talk about Farrington, it's Chuck's words come back to me, Coach Knowles. Get in the spirit of it early.
Right away.
Yeah, don't waste time.
No question about it. Now, another guy that I spied in that run drill.
Spied him?
Yeah, I spy Chooks Okafor.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened was Jake Rogers had a chance to come over. Al went out. Looked like Al got pulled out of the lineup for a while there. But Chooks came on, and again, he's got that Ilkin rule number 2. If you can win a one-on-one situation with bad technique, you're still a player.
You're a player. Yeah, okay, you're a player.
You're a player.
Yeah.
And he still wins. He wins ugly.
Yeah.
But sometimes this guy is so strong and such an athlete.
Right.
He can just give you the old back bend. He can give you the body slam. He is one of these guys. He'll take a bull rusher and eat that bull rush right down the middle and hold his ground.
Just think when he gets technique.
Oh, I know.
Just think about how good he's going to be when after Munch schools him week in, week out, day in, day out. Long-term projection. Don't see him playing much as a rook. But, and that could, he could get the learning curve.
We don't know, but I know this. He passed the first test.
Yeah.
All right? He's not a stiff because he beat the stiffs.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
And Ilkin rule number 1.
And we saw more of Matt Filer out of tackle today.
We did.
And so, Matt Filer, you said he looked lean. I asked him if he was lean. He said, yeah, he's dropped 10 pounds. So you made a good point. Great eye by you.
Us fat guys, we know these things.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, that's all from down in the field. He's Wolf, I'm Tunch. Back to you. Back to you, Lyndsay.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, we'll hear from Mike Hilton and Artie Burns on the importance and versatility at the cornerback position. We'll be right back.
Steelers Family Fest, featuring a live team practice at Heinz Field on Sunday, August the 19th, starting at 5 p.m. Enjoy the Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play areas, as well as prize giveaways, alumni appearances, and Sembelli fireworks after practice. That's Steelers Family Fest, brought to you by Neighborhood Ford Store and SiriusXM. Check out Steelers.com for more.
There are no fans anywhere like Steelers Nation, and you can celebrate your fandom with Steelers Nation Unite today at training camp. Visit our Steelers Nation Unite tent located at the entrance to the camp to spin the prize wheel for a chance to get on the field for practice, win tickets to Family Fest, pick up a roster, and more. You can also join the official home of Steelers Nation now at SteelersNationUnite.com, where we celebrate you for being the best fans in the world.
Welcome back to Steelers Live. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has a lot of different sayings, but one that you hear from him frequently is position flexibility. One area we've seen this early in training camp is in the secondary.
You know, my main role is that slot cornerback, but the more you can do, the more versatile you can help a team. And I feel like with the guys we have on the back end, we all can move around and contribute.
You may come out with a team that's going to run the ball 100 times, or you may come out with a team that's going to throw the ball, you know, so you may never know. So being able to be versatile, keep us ahead of the game. That's why we got the guys switching roles, you know, some guys going to nickel, some guys going to safety, you know, just in case we have to make those adjustments on the run.
Joining me now is Bob Labriola to discuss the team's need for a playmaker on defense.
Yeah, to me, Lyndsay, you know, the position flexibility of the secondary, specifically the cornerbacks, is a means to an end. And I really believe that there need to be two things accomplished as we head up into the start of the regular season. The Steelers need to get their run defense buttoned down, and they also need to find a way to create more takeaways. You know, we heard Rod Woodson say in mid-June that what the Steelers defense needs most is a playmaker. Rod said that the Steelers really haven't had that kind of a playmaker in the secondary since Troy Polamalu was here, and I happen to agree with him 100%. When you look at the Steelers defense last year, the unit finished with 16 interceptions, which isn't a bad total, but only 11 of those came from the defensive backs, and only 2 defensive backs, Sean Davis and Mike Hilton, had more than 1. So clearly the Steelers need to develop within their secondary some more takeaways and maybe some more individuals who can put up multiple interceptions. Who might that be? Well, let's start with Joe Haden. Joe Haden is now in his first training camp with the Steelers. I really think that him being here with the team throughout this process is going to help him and the unit. The Steelers didn't sign Joe Haden last year until the eve of the preseason finale. Now, Joe Haden's his most interceptions came when he posted 6 as a rookie in 2010, but of his 8 full NFL seasons so far, Joe Haden has posted 3 or more interceptions 5 times. So certainly this is a guy who has some pedigree to make plays on the football. On the other side of the field, the starting cornerback is going to be Artie Burns. Artie Burns had 3 interceptions as a rookie, and in his final college football season for the U down in Miami, he had 6 interceptions. So Artie Burns is a playmaking cornerback. He has some good ball skills. He's only 23 years old. The Steelers need him to be more productive in the area of takeaways. Also, Artie Burns has 2 interceptions of Ben Roethlisberger. I want to emphasize that so far in this training camp. Another guy who has the pedigree to potentially add numbers to those interception totals, Cam Sutton. Now, he missed most of training camp last year. He ended up at the start of the regular season on IR. He eventually became the injured reserve designated to return guy. Cam Sutton had 7 interceptions during his career for Tennessee in the SEC. Terrell Edmunds, the #1 pick this year. Terrell Edmunds has had 2 interceptions so far this training camp, both on Ben Roethlisberger again. He had 6 interceptions over his final 2 college seasons at Virginia Tech. And as I mentioned, Sean Davis and Mike Hilton are the 2 players from the last year's group who had more than 1 interception. Hopefully they can add some to their totals as well. You know, when you look at the 2017 Steelers defense, it led the NFL in sacks with 56, which also set a franchise record. And I'm not saying that pressure is sufficient or that they should rest on those laurels, because certainly you can do better in certain situations, and you can also do better in terms of pressure, in terms of where it's coming from and how you have to generate it. But let me say this. When you have 56 sacks and all the pressures that went along with that, 11 interceptions simply isn't going to get it done.
All right, thanks so much, Labs. Good stuff there on the secondary. That's going to wrap it up for us. Don't forget to stick around for Coach Tomlin's post-practice press briefing. We'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time here on Steelers Live at 5 p.m. Thanks for joining us.